David Bay here from MuscularDevelopment.com. We are in Las Vegas for the 2016 Olympia weekend, hanging out here with four-time Mr. Olympia and three-time Arnold Classic champion, Jay Cutler. Jay, big weekend in Las Vegas, as always. The big story, as everybody knows, Kevin Levrone coming back after a 13-year layoff. You competed against Kevin for a handful of years. You placed ahead of Kevin, you placed behind Kevin, everywhere in between. What are your thoughts about his comeback?
I think it's awesome. I mean, that's been the most talked about. I mean, I've traveled probably more than anyone in the circuit still this year, just because my time is a little looser now because I'm not training for competitions. But the biggest questions I got through the year was about the Kevin Levrone return. I didn't believe in the beginning because we've heard it so many times, so it was very questionable. I know Muscular Development's kind of backed up this whole thing and the transition of him. We've seen the pictures leaked. But I was a huge fan of Kevin Levrone. I don't know how anyone can't be. I think he will receive the loudest ovations. I think it's great for the business. It's definitely sold this Olympia as a highlighted image for a guy returning that's over 50 years old. Outcome, I guess we'll see. We'll know in a few hours now when prejudging takes place.
All right. Now, as far as the rest of the lineup, it's a deep Olympia, and every year we talk about the Olympia lineup, and it should be a deep lineup, being the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. But when we look at the top of the lineup, I think it can be assumed that we're looking at Phil, Dexter, Ramy, and Roden. But the rest of the guys, you have Rulli, you have Dallas McCarver, you have William Bonac, Cedric. Are there any guys, when you look at that list, that can really jump up and be in a first call out, a fifth or a sixth, or even move ahead of some of the perennial favorites?
I think what we speak about, we talk about Dexter, Roden, Phil Heath, and Big Ramy. I think Cedric could get in the mix very easily with that group. I think Rulli can be right there pushing. I think Josh from Australia could be a contender. Nathan DeAsher. I think that Compton is a dangerous guy. I think Dallas, is still, he's got some growing room as far as maturity. But that top 10 is going to be pretty stacked up. And that's the way I see it. Bonac is going to surprise people because he's going to be in the middle of a lot of big guys. He could be in that sixth spot, even fifth place, who even knows. But I just hate to make predictions because I always hated him when I was up there winning. And I would still pick Phil Heath to win. I think it can toss between Dexter and Sean Roden or Big Ramy for second. And then I think Cedric is, anywhere from second all the way up to that sixth or seventh spot.
All right, now when we're talking about Phil Heath, his last couple of wins, and especially his win last year, I don't know if contested or questionable were the right words, but definitely not in the dominating fashion that he wants those wins to be in. Now, you're somebody, you had a couple wins that people question. And you came back and won again after those wins. As a champion, at the Olympia level, what's that mindset after you win a title and somebody says you didn't deserve it to come back the following year?
The problem is it's the formulas. And listen, I'm still sitting in the front row at a lot of these shows watching Phil Heath dominate. Come Saturday night, the show's still judged on the last, what the judges see last, and Phil Heath's dominated. I never questioned any of his wins so far. Especially with the Saturday night victories. Yeah, Fridays. But listen, I never believed in the two-day show. I hate it. I think the show should be judged in one day because it's just total, I don't know. It's
too hard.
It's just too hard. The guys are always going to be better Saturday night, in my opinion. The guys very randomly get worse the next night unless they go out and just eat something crazy. But if you're in contention, you're not going to do that, at least if you have the right mindset. But you know what, Phil's, I think, very dangerous because he just has all the tools, and he's the only one that really has all those tools. And I think Phil Heath will win very easily at this Mr. Olympia, in my opinion. It's going to be a lot easier than people think. And, once again, he'll be walking away with number 6.
All right, guys, there you have it from four-time Olympia champion Jay Cutler. Phil's walking away with number 6 this weekend. Speaking of walking away, we're going to walk away from your booth because you got a ton of fans here, seminars to do and stuff like that. Jay, as always, we appreciate your time, everything you do for us, the fans, everything like that. So much thank you, and we'll see you a little bit later on tonight, guys. Prejudging for the Men's Open 212 and a couple of finals is at 7 o'clock. Make sure you check back But we're going to head out now. So one more time, David Bay with Jay Cutler from the 2016 IFBB Olympia Weekend for MuscularDevelopment.com.